Hi guys, welcome back. It's me, your girl Sarah Donald. It's a rainy day in Lagos, Nigeria today. In fact, it's been a raining week. Oh God. Days like this, I am so excited that I work from home. In fact, that is something to look out for when you're moving to Nigeria. Even if you're moving for work, try to negotiate some days of like work from home for some days. You cannot be on the streets of Lagos every day. Like, I don't even know what's going on now, but I know that it's going to be a lot of flooding, and there's going to be a lot of traffic. Like Lagos and rain, especially when it's been bad. Like, it has been raining since what time? Since like 7 a.m. in the morning. I've been trying to do this video, but I'm like, you know what? Let me just do it now that the rain has gone down a bit. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into it. If you're new to my channel, I do videos about returning to Nigeria, real estate, and every good thing in between. So today I'm going to be answering some frequently asked questions about moving back to Nigeria. So the first question I have here is it better to rent or buy when moving back to Nigeria? Now, I get this question a lot of times. And the first thing, because I also teach on real estate, right? So the first thing I always say is, why are you moving back? Are you moving to test the waters to know if it's going to work for you? Or are you moving back permanently? Another question is, when last did you come to Nigeria? This thing will help you know if you want to buy or you want to rent. So let's say you want to take a gap year and just come and spend a year in Nigeria. Even if you can afford to buy, I will say that you should rent, right? Because it takes a lot of, I don't know if you've watched my videos about buying in Nigeria. It's not easy. The paperwork, finding the right apartment, finally getting it, and everything. Like, it's such a stressful, it's such a stress to just do for 1 year, if you know what I mean. And then you start looking for someone to buy immediately, because if you sell it off, it's not going to have that value. You need to give it, like, you're not going to lose, but you still need to give it time for it to, appreciate more. So buying and just staying for a year and renting and selling it out won't work, except you want to buy, stay there for a year and then rent it out when you're going, not to sell it immediately. Then that kind of works. So if you're coming for just a year, you want to just take a gap year, stay in Nigeria, I will obviously say you should rent. If you're not used to Nigeria and you have the money to buy, I will also say you should rent. Test the waters. Maybe you don't like Lagos, so it's easy for you to just up and move to Abuja. Maybe you don't like Abuja, it's up for you. It's easier for you to up and move to Ibadan, right? So of course, in that sense, renting is cheaper when you think about it that way. Like, and in Nigeria, we pay rent per year. Now, you might be asking that, okay, I want to come for 6 months, I want to come for 3 months. We also have short let options, stroke Airbnb. Yeah, those ones also already come furnished. So I will recommend that if you know that you're not going to stay for more than 6 months. Anything 3 months, 6 months, it's fine. But a year in Airbnb, I kind of think that it's also fine in a year in short let. I'll tell you why, actually. Thinking about it, I'll tell you why. Because in Nigeria, our houses don't come furnished. Like, literally, they're houses that come with like nothing. You will be excited to even see a house that has a cooking gas. You literally have to put everything by yourself. They just paint the house for you. Bathroom fittings, obviously, and stuff. But with a short let, it comes inclusive with everything. So if you're definite that you want to stay for a year, I don't think it's bad if you get a short let. That way, you don't need to start buying TV, buying fridge, and at the end of the year, selling it off. But yeah, so it depends. But if I have a client that said that even though she's staying for a year, she still wants to rent and set it up herself, because she's very particular about her space, which is valid. Like, even though it's a year, my sister is like that, so I can understand. Like, my sister can do up a rented apartment, and you're wondering that, I don't understand, is this your house? Yeah, so if you're that sort of person that is very meticulous, that's it. But if you've been coming to Nigeria and you already know what's about, and you're sure of where you want to stay, and you're in touch with reality of what's happening in Nigeria, and you want to buy, then I'll say go ahead and buy. In fact, in some cases, people that have that are moving back with their family, they actually build before moving back or buy, so that once they come, they're just going straight to their house. So yes, I would say it depends. How much money should I have saved before relocating? And if I have kids, what are the unexpected costs? Okay, I just want to tell you that Nigeria will test you. And I thought this was just in Nigeria until I saw it on a YouTube video of a YouTuber in Canada. So one thing I noticed in Nigeria is like the prices are not steady at all. You might go to a supermarket today and you buy something for 5,000, and 5 days later you're going to go to that same supermarket and it has doubled. Now, I thought that was just a Nigerian thing, but a YouTuber in Canada was making a video about the thing she bought, and she was like, "This is $3," and her friend was like, no, she was like, "This is $7," and her friend was like, "No, no, no, $3." She checked the receipt and I was like, "Oh, it's actually $7." And her girl was like, "What?" I literally just bought this exact thing from the store like 3 days ago. That's why I was so sure of the price. So I was like, "Oh, okay, so this thing happens abroad. Let me know what part of the world you're in and if things go up that way." But in Nigeria, I know for sure that prices are not steady. The prices of things just go up. Price of dollar to naira, naira to dollar, everything. So you need to have emergency funds. And again, why I'm saying this is that that's if you're preparing to come back to Nigeria. If you're coming back to Nigeria like unexpectedly, things are not working out and you just want to come and start over, please, there is room for that. But this is basically like maybe people that are planning ahead of time. There's no one size fits all to say this is the amount that you can bring. I will ask first, what kind of life do you want to live in Nigeria? Do you want to replicate the life that you already live abroad? I have videos like that, right? So I'll give you an example. I don't pay light bill like it's because I have because I have 24 hours light. So my light bill is quite high. Light is something that I spend money on because I have 24 hours light. So I got an estate that won't give me 24 hours light. I got solar, inverter. And when you stay in an estate that gives you 24 hours light, what happens is that they increase the tariff, so you're buying straight from them. So let's say EKDC, which is NEPA, is selling for 92 naira. The estate will be selling sometimes for as high as 200, 300, 500. This is something you should look out for when renting a house. Always ask them for one, the monthly fee, whether you're renting or buying in an estate. Always know, find out how much the monthly fee is and ask how much the tariff is. Yeah, so if you're looking to get 24 hours uninterrupted light, the tariff is higher. If you're looking to get 12 hours, the tariff is higher. If you're just basically that, right? So let's say you're coming back and you're like, I want to work hard, I want to replicate that. Again, I would say it's not one size fits all, but just know that the more family you have, the higher you are, the more expensive. So if you're moving to Lagos, for example, I was trying to help someone sell their house recently and I asked, "Oh, why are you leaving the house?" Because the house was really cool. He was like, "Oh, I have 3 plates plus his other daughter, and he has 4 nannies for each child," right? So that makes sense. So that means now he's going to a bigger family. He needs a bigger house. He's going to be spending more. You know what I mean? So if you're looking at like getting a 5-bedroom in Lekki, you know that it's more expensive than getting a 2-bedroom in Lekki than getting a 1-bedroom. So if you're coming by yourself and you're looking at budgeting 3.5 million for a house, know that if you're getting a 2-bedroom, if you're getting a 3, just keep adding more figures to that. So basically ask yourself what kind of life you want to live. That determines how much you want to come in with. You know what I mean? So shopping in supermarkets are obviously more expensive than shopping in the market. So eating out is more expensive than eating at home. So it really depends on the life you want to live. But one thing that people say that Nigeria is sweet when you have money, without a doubt, it is true. And one thing in Nigeria that we pay for everything outright. It's not like the States where you can buy a car and split the payment still forever. School fees is paid outright. Everything is paid out. So you have to, it's a cash country. You have to have your cash ready. If the landlord is telling you 1 year, he's not splitting it, she's not splitting it. It's coming like 1 year, you're getting the bulk. So we pay for things in bulk. So that's what you should, look out for. If you want to go to a private school, is way more expensive than going to a public school. We have private schools now that go for private primary school, not secondary school, primary school, that goes for as high as 1 million, 2 million, 5 million to then they also have the ones that go for 70,000, 80,000, 120,000. Again, what kind of school do you want to give your child? So basically that's it. When it comes to healthcare as well, the same thing. We have private hospitals, we have state hospitals, government hospitals, all that. So private hospitals are typically more expensive. Example, I went to a hospital recently and they said that to get a bed there was 900,000 for two people. The bed space is 900,000 for two people, which is about maybe $1,000 per night for two people. Then they have ones that are 150,000 a night. They have the ones that are like 30,000 a night. Do you get what I mean? So it depends on the life you want and you can afford. How do I get my kids into good schools in Nigeria? Now, education is one of the biggest concerns for Japadans. I've gotten this question quite a lot because you want to come back and you want to ensure that your kids are still maintaining like a good education and all. So Nigeria has varieties of schools. Now in Nigeria, we operate in mostly the British curriculum because obviously you know the history. So ask yourself, what do I want? Do I want a British curriculum or do I want the American curriculum for my child? Now, that will now depend. That will depend on the kind of school you want to take your child to. Another thing is location. Where do you live, right? If you live in Lagos, Lagos has a lot of traffic. So let's say you live in Lagos and you live in Lekki One, and the school you like so much is in Shangotedo. Then you decide, do I want to put my child in boarding school, or do I want my child to be waking up at 4 a.m. just to meet up classes? So those are things you need to know. What area? So for every area, there are schools in Nigeria, right? I would really recommend that you take out time before putting your kids in school in Nigeria, that you Google online, find out your must-haves. When I wanted to put my child in college, I had must-haves that I wanted. I wanted my child to go to a boarding school, but not the kind of boarding school I went to. So if you're in Nigeria that experienced boarding school and you hear boarding school, you're literally like, what? Boarding school? No, that's like state schools and all. I haven't been there in so many years, so I don't even know how much has changed. But my child is in a private boarding school. I didn't want, you can choose a school where there are 2 in a room, 4 in a room. I wanted one where there are like max 4 in a room. My daughter likes to interact. She's the last. Obviously, she doesn't have anybody that is her mate at home. So she loves those kind of things. I did not want somewhere that had like, they have hostel parents, not hostel managers. The reason they're called hostel parents is that they're like they're responsible for the kids. They don't hit the kids. They don't use such, words on the kids. They see the kids as their kids, right? So it's not like a hierarchy where, oh, my hostel parent is coming and everybody's running, right? They have laundry because they wear a suit. So you cannot start washing suit because at home, will you wash the suit yourself? No. But again, I wanted to make sure that she could wash basic things herself, like her underwear and her nightwear, because those are things that even if she's at home, she can handle. So, but the suits and all, they handle washing that, right? So I wanted that. I also, when I was looking for schools, for me, respect was so important because a lot of private schools, I went there and the students are looking at you. Come on, we're Nigerians, right? They are looking at you, you're looking at them, nobody's greeting. This is one of the things that got me about my daughter's school, because when you come there, they walk up to you, hi ma'am, who are you looking for? Oh, you're looking for this. Let's go and call her. Please come in, ma'am. Like the students are so humble and yes, they're so humble. They greet every time I see them, like so respectful, so I didn't want those kind of schools that they hit your child, but at the same time I didn't want the schools where teachers are afraid of the students, because those kind of things happen a lot. So basically it's a personal thing to ask yourself, what kind of upbringing do you want for your child? There's some schools I saw where they have movie nights and the students will go and like they have Netflix, they can choose the films that they want to watch, because at home I also regulate the films that my child watches. So I chose the other school that, though they do movie nights in the school, they send like the kind of films that they watch. So the students don't just have access to go and put it. I wanted schools that they don't allow mobile phones, but you can reach them anytime because there are hostel lines that you can call at any time. I'm talking anytime and they will pick. So for me, these were things, there's a hospital close to the place. That's how much I looked out for. There's a private hospital close to the place and also a general hospital. And then they have obviously the basic first aid nurses and all that they have in the school. So for me, those are key things that I was looking out for, right? So I will suggest that you go online and have your must-haves. Like this is the kind of curriculum I want for my kids. I want a day school or I want a boarding school. You'll be able to find that. But I also say you should not make a decision online, because I don't know, personally, when I checked online, going there helped me to change my decisions. There's some I saw online, I really loved it. But when I go there, like they'll have things like you can't just come into the school anyhow. And a lady had made a video as a teacher that was working in a boarding school that said that that's a red flag for school, that if I'm leaving my child there, you should be able to come in anytime. I understand that there are rules, you're trying to respect it, you're trying to ensure that, every, like, it's coordinated, so it's visiting day. But at the same time, I feel like a school has to be a bit flexible, because I don't want to just show up on the days that I know that you guys have prepared for me. Do you get what I mean? And yes, like when the students are in class, you're not allowed to come in and interrupt. So I wanted like to come and do random inspections. For me, it wasn't about seeing the child. It was about random inspection. I remember checking out this school the day that was not their open house, so that I'll know what it really felt like the atmosphere down to security, things like that. Then they have things where you, from the comfort of your home, you can also see when your daughter checks in and out of school. So even though she's in boarding school, her hostel parent has to come and pick the kids from the school and then check it in, so that you're sure that, okay, my child is in school. And even if it's a day student, they have those things as well, in case you're sending someone to come and pick up your child. So yes, ask yourself, they have Christian schools as well in Nigeria. They have Catholic schools. They have schools owned by Pentecostal pastors. Again, it depends on the kind of upbringing that you want for your child and the curriculum. Another thing is like the school as well is they have an accreditation with some foreign schools. So if you want to say maybe go to the UK or go to America after school, they have like exams that you can take, and it's so easy because they already have a relationship with those schools. Yeah, I also wanted schools that do entrepreneurship week, or what they call entrepreneurship week, something like Abby. Yeah, where they teach them how to be entrepreneurs. They have market days where they teach them how to sell things. I didn't want schools that have overly competition. I don't know if you've seen all those schools in Nigeria where your child's birthday is like, those sweet 16s you see on TV. I didn't want that. So the school allows basic cake that is approved by the school. So nothing crazy, biscuits if your child's birthday and you want to come in. So there's no competition of, okay, this one, they bought bicycles or they bought tablets for the students. So I didn't want that kind of school, but schools like that exist as well. I can go on and on about this. What are the hidden costs of living in Nigeria? I would say one is utility. There are so many hidden costs, but one is utility, because you can't really have a fee to say this is how much it is. Because one, even if you're running generator, fuel price goes up and down. Sometimes there's fuel scarcity, and then the amount of fuel you use determines how much there is light. Like in my estate, for example, it's 24 hours light, like I mentioned, but that means they run between the EKDC and, which is NEPA, known as NEPA, EKDC and generator. So let's say this month their bill might be higher if maybe they haven't had much light. Even though now, to be honest, the light system has really improved in Nigeria, as we're in band A, paying the band A money. Nigerians have not experienced this before. Yeah, so that's one hidden cost. Another thing is internet. If you're someone that works from home, you might have to have 2 different kinds of internet, or 3, depends on how much your work is. Currently, right now, I use cyberspace and MTN broadband. So those are the 2 that I use. I know people that maybe they are streamers. They literally have almost all the networks, because for them, they have to be online. You get what I mean? So it depends on your work. These are hidden fees that don't really get talked about, because you think that, oh, internet is just 30 something thousand, but then by the time you have to load that something for your Wi-Fi, then load for your phone data, then load maybe your MTN or your Airtel. Yeah, these are like hidden costs. Also, estates. You, like I mentioned before, if you're moving to an estate, please ask. I've seen, in fact, there was a house I really liked. I don't know if you've watched that video. I told you guys about it. Luckily for me, I just called the agent back before I got there. I was like, please, how much is the service charge? And she called me back and said 250,000 a month. I'm like, okay, what does it cover? Like, does it cover electricity? Do I still need to buy electricity? She said yes. I said, okay, bye, turn. I left. Like, I was not going to be paying more than 100,000 as service charge, because service charge typically covers what do you call it, cleaning of the common area, like in my estate, it covers plumber. We have a plumber, we have an electrician. In case something spoils in your apartment, it covers it. But if you need to repair, like maybe your WC breaks, they're not going to charge for the service because they're already under your service charge, but you need to replace the WC by yourself, then the plumber fixes it. So it's really helpful because things can go off at night. They're always here. And it covers like fumigation of the general area, security, which is a mobile security, the mobile security that like police and all that, and also the uniformed security. So these are what it covers. It also covers the meter and light. So you're still buying light. So no matter, so sometimes when they tell you that it covers light, you think that you don't have to buy light. No, basically what it covers is that it means that there will always be light, whether it's gen, whether it's light, there'll be light. So they've already done your meter for you. For people that buy meter, I heard that right now to buy meter is like 300 to 500. That's what someone said yesterday, because she's trying to buy a meter. So they've already bought the meter. They've, installed the meter for you. They service the generator and stuff like that. So even at that, I was not going to pay more than 100,000 because I know that I still need to buy light. And sometimes I use light like 200,000 every week, every month. It depends. Now it's summer. My kids are around. Things are double because people are around, but when they go back, it reduces. But that is one cost that people don't really know. So sometimes you get into the estate and you don't know that you're supposed to be paying for something like that. Yeah. Some estates won't even enclose that after paying for that, you still need to pay for diesel deposit. And another thing is that if you're a homeowner, obviously there are certain things that the estate doesn't cover. So for example, there's like a major fall. I'll give an example, like the gates. For example, if your gate falls, as a tenant, the tenant doesn't care because it covers there. But as a homeowner, if that thing exceeds what is in the estate's account, the homeowners will now have to contribute a certain amount of money. So yeah, those are costs you should be aware of. Now, should I ship my belongings or buy everything new in Nigeria? Shipping can be very stressful and expensive, but I will recommend the two in case. But please, for shipping, you want to ship a car or something, ship it months ahead before you come. Like shipping can delay so much. So how safe is Nigeria for returnees? So my answer will be this. Nigeria has issues. It's not the safest place in the world. Neither is it the most dangerous place in the world or even a dangerous place, if that's to say. Nigeria has its issues, right? Of course, Nigeria has bad PR. So whenever there is an issue, right, it's going to be blown out of proportion compared to every other, like compared to other countries, right? But the everyday reality is that people live here, people work here, people have lived here in years and they've never been robbed, they've never been kidnapped, they've never, all that stuff that you hear. So area still matters as well. Example, if you're coming back in December, crimes are higher in December because they know that, like people are returning. So you're careful. You see that people will fly more than going interstate by road, things like that. And that in Nigeria is that we don't have a lot of CCTV camera, which is something that I really hope that the government one day invest in this. And that's because a lot of people are not documented. So even when we can go into it, like Lagos has over 25 million people, right? You might even see someone in the whole CCTV camera and not even know the person. You get what I mean? So yes, I hope that they put other things in place, like now that we have NIN where you can, before you hire helps, for example, personally, before we didn't have that, I use NIN like the same way you use a social security, where I use it to confirm that this person is really who they say they are, that their names are really, like it's their right name, because the worst thing that happened to you is to be looking for somebody that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like there's no documentation of the person. Anyway, so like I said, Nigeria is typically not the worst. It has its issues, but you must still take your own personal, like you keep yourself safe to a large extent. Example, staying in gated estate, even when you're not in an estate, but staying in places that have security. It's very important for returnees. Know your way around before going out at night. Trying to stay around with people that know their way around. You get what I mean? There are some areas in Nigeria that you can walk on the road with your iPhone 17 and you'll feel safe, and there are areas that you cannot even walk, like even in the daytime you'll be scared. So yes, Nigeria has this issue, not the way the media portrays it, and areas are very important as well, area specific where you are. So do that research before moving to Nigeria. What is the biggest mistake that returnees make? I love this one. The biggest mistake that returnees make is just to assume that they are coming back to the place that they left. So let's say you left a system that works perfectly and you're coming to Nigeria and you have that same expectation. That is when people make mistakes. Yes, you need to have, like, I would like to say don't have like obviously as humans we have expectation, but reduce your expectation, if you know what I mean. It's not the same thing, especially when you're coming from a country that works. Yes, if you're coming from a system that works, you need to change your mindset a bit. Example, in Nigeria, right? When it comes to things like the other day, I took my daughter to go and get her ATM card, and I'm not even exaggerating. She waited over 40 minutes. I had to leave her and go and do other things, right? And then she took an Uber. Over 40 minutes to get ATM. What's happening? The network is down. It's not even network, like it's the bank network. So things like this can really slow you and frustrate you. So if you're one of those people that used to compare, if it's in the UK now, get it immediately, you will complain and complain and complain. So what I did was just like, as soon as she was done, I took her to another bank so that she has an option. Because if it's taking you guys this long to get ATM, that means you guys are going to be having network issues. So in Nigeria, your backup needs a backup, right? Reduce your expectation, like, so that whenever you see, you'll be wowed. That's all I can say. It's not the country you are coming from. It might be better, it might not be up to it, depends. But I believe that for you to come in, that means you're looking for something. That means something brought you here. That means you have a why. So that your why is what is going to keep you in the midst of challenges. You know what I mean? Of course, there are challenges everywhere. But what is your why? I've seen a lot of people gush about how they are so excited, how moving to Nigeria changed their life. And some people will still come on that comment section and say, what, this same Nigeria we live in, you won't understand. They know they know what they are looking for. They know what brought them back here. So regardless of the challenges, right, they are here because they know what brought them back. They are holding on to their why. So that's the biggest mistake I believe that people make. Example, they start businesses without even understanding the nitty-gritty. Just feel like because you came from abroad and you have this idea, because it worked in China, you just feel like it will work in Nigeria. Because it worked in Germany, you'll be like, oh, I'm bringing this idea to Nigeria. It might work, but Nigeria has 36 states. So that your idea might even be an Enugu state idea or an Ogun state idea. It might not be a Lagos idea. You know what I mean? It might not be an Abuja idea. But because you now take it and put it in the wrong place, you're like, oh, I saw a lady, just say this before I go. She just started a business. She moved to Nigeria. She rented a shop in Ikoyi, one of the most expensive places in Lagos. I saw the thing she was selling, and I said to myself, I don't know how long you're going to be here. Yeah, because when I saw the thing she was selling, when I saw that she had already made that much investment, when I saw that she was going to be paying her house rent in Ikoyi, I said, this girl did not do her assignment at all. If she did her assignment, these things will not be this price. But you know why it's this price? Because she's already paying over 25 million on rent. So she has to try to now make it up. But can you imagine if she rented her house and used the boys' quarter of her house to start up that business? So that's one of the biggest mistakes that I've seen people make when moving back to Nigeria. So thank you so much. If I didn't cover any of your question, I'm going to be doing this every now and then. Please drop your questions in the comment section. Then I can combine it together and make another video. Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me. It's still your girl, Sarah Donald. And if you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my channel, Sarah Donald Podcast. And if you also want to support my film channel by subscribing to Sarah Donald Films. Thank you and stay blessed.